Doing all the things, ladies and gentlemen. Doing all the things. We show up when we want to show up, but we do show up.
And that's the difference that makes a difference, because not
That ma-
everyone shows up.
Man, she's starting already.
Not
She come
everybody
out.
shows up.
Not everybody shows
Right.
up.
Not
Oh,
everybody shows
Stephanie,
up.
get off the zip line and come over back to the States, hitting, just shooting folks dead in the. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Technologist Forum. I don't know what day it is. Don't worry about what day it is because it's today. And my wonderful co-host here, I would be nothing without them. So appreciate them for being here. We are live where we need to be live. And today we are going to talk about, regardless of the year, even though it's the end of 2025, we're going into 26, we want to talk about from a perspective of a solopreneur, entrepreneur, digital creator, what we tired of. What we gonna throw out at the end of the year, we're gonna stop doing, and then what we're gonna start doing as we move forward with the new year. So y'all good with that? Mine's clear. We had a little debate behind scenes. We had did nobody read their homework assignment? Is what I'm saying. Go ahead, say something.
Let's
You don't be on
we
mute
gonna have to
now.
get him. We're
Yeah,
gonna have
don't
to
be on.
We
get him.
are. We are.
Stuart, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit
Okay.
later, but I appreciate you for being here. You know what? Yeah, you. We gonna work some things out. So let me do this. Let's do a kind of a quick round, and we'll go my left, your right. So my left is my stage left is Stephanie. Come from the music world, so stage left. Both of you though. This question: what's one creator habit or professional habit that you're personally going to be leaving behind at the end of this calendar year?
Facebook.
Oh, you done opened up all kind of worms or cans
I
already.
sure
Okay.
did. Look at
Like
that.
you really
Dang.
just jumped way on out there.
Dang. Yeah.
Okay, is that it?
Starting some.
Because we may need to forget these 16 questions that I had. Because there go the pivot right there. She said Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, because that's
Which
a
is crazy to
problem.
say, because I've been on Facebook like forever. But I definitely think it's time, 2026, to move on over, go somewhere else.
I want to
I
ask
know.
Florence what hers is, and then I want to come back to that. The run of show is now erased because
That's why I didn't do my homework.
because that's time. That's why you didn't do your homework. You know what?
So I did my homework.
Because that's
You
so
make up-
timely
She
that
could
we
pull
got to
it up.
talk
You
about
changed the
that.
test.
Florence, what about you?
Mine is stop listening to people who are not in my corner.
Wow, that's profound and could lead into also question or answer number one as well.
Yeah.
All right. We got Mr. Hunt in the building. We got Stuart here. We got my guy John here, who's already convinced me to spend a lot of money. Professional habit to leave behind commercials and live. See, there he go. Inside story here. John here is the guy who has got me to turn off monetization commercials on lives for the rest of the calendar year. Maybe for good, but I will reactivate.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, see, hold on. Again, I've got to watch what I say sometimes. But the plan is after the session is done live, then I turn on the monetization and the ads. But for the live experience, I have turned off commercials because I've gotten a couple of pieces of feedback from the community about such a thing. I listen. So let's do this. And you guys in the community, you guys in the audience as well, answer that question. What one habit, not necessarily it does have to be a creator habit, what professional, maybe even personal habit are you leaving behind at the end of this calendar year? Stephanie, you mentioned Facebook, and Meta is a trip. Y'all know how I feel about Zuckerberg. I can say it again. I don't have to say it, but it's interesting to hear you say that with all of the things that are popping up in various feeds right now about Meta and about Facebook. Tell us why that's triggered you so much to state that.
I think Facebook has definitely changed from the days of what I used to use it for, as far as building a community, being very active in Facebook groups, finding people in niche communities, having constructive conversations, for one, right? I I think now I know Facebook is monetized now, and so people will game the system, and like, and I've played around with it too, just to see like, oh, what can I squeeze out of the meta bank for a little bit. But I think if I really, for what aligns with my goals for 2026, the type of clients that I want to work with, the type of work I want to do, the campaigns I want to launch, LinkedIn is going to be the best place for me to do that. And YouTube is really going to be the platform to help me leverage that authority and really build it there. Anything that I put out on Facebook, I feel like still is contained in this little bubble.
Yeah.
And I want to get out of that bubble if I want to go explore different things, right?
Does
That's
that
where I'm at
mean,
with that one.
okay, so does that mean is that solely professional? And from the creator perspective, are you still going to have kind of your own area of the platform that you maintain, keep close to the vest, where like you and your family coordinate, that kind of thing? 'Cause that the only reason I use Facebook, my wife makes me use it because that's how we keep up with family.
With
But
family, right? Yeah. Well, no, I'm also finding that like close family and friends, when we want to talk,
come on now.
we text message or we'll DM. So it's that they don't need to go to my profile.
Oh my God.
Like if we're family, you don't need to go to my profile. You should just DM me. Like James will hit me up and just text me.
I hit you up in the middle of the night. You know, that's true.
Yeah. He'd be like, I'm like, oh, like that to me, I feel like now I rely more on that, the one-to-one communication versus relying on an algorithm to put it out to certain people. Like if I want people to know, I will tell them personally.
That's a good point
I
because
just feel like that's how it is now.
how it is there we go. That's how it is now because when MetaFest came out, when Facebook first came out, it was the place, right? Everyone on the planet is there. It's how you engage, how you interact. We've met a lot of folks who have made a lot of money in Facebook marketing, Facebook advertising, and then running groups and things of that nature. But this shift that they've been doing, one for us selfishly as creators, especially video creators, when they said, you know what, we're gonna start deleting your videos off of our platform. Like wait,
Yeah. What
wait a
was
minute.
that about?
Like wait a minute. Right? Don't do me like that. I'm one who has said that I'd be willing to pay for a premium version of Facebook. I have to be no ads, to be, again, I can mold the experience, but then when they come out and say they're going to start deleting our videos after X number of months, and
Mhm.
then now, if you guys don't know, Facebook Meta is pushing their verified account status for you to put links to external locations in your reels and in your post. So you can only put, if you're not meta verified, you can only put 2 links per month in your posts on their platform. And like, y'all really trying to make us leave, huh?
Yeah. And then I don't know. And then after that, I was just kind of like, well, then who are you trying to keep?
Mm,
Because the content that does keep you there is usually on that spectrum of either it's going to bring you a lot of joy and happiness or it's going to piss you off a lot. And then you're
yeah,
just going to be surrounded by other people like crabs in the bucket. So that's where I was just kind of like, well, where do I really want to be? And how do I want to feel if I'm hopping on social? I remember even people were saying like, if I want to like check up on you, I'm going to check up on you, but I
yeah,
don't feel like I need to go to Facebook and then all the baggage that comes along with Facebook and all that other stuff and news. Like if I just want to check in on Florence, I just want to check in on Florence, but I don't want to hear about news and this and blah blah blah. Like I just, how you doing?
yeah.
That's it.
Just
Exactly.
real quick.
Exactly. I will say this, Stephanie, to your point, I think all social media is getting there. Like
Mm,
the real direct human to human connection is becoming more important than ever. The more we have these broad throw out the net to reach people, and I'm talking to everyone, the more direct human connection becomes important.
mm,
Because fundamentally, me, you, all of us, w- we want people to, we want to be seen and we want to be heard and we want to be acknowledged. That's human. And I just think it's happening more and more and more. I'm having instances where it's like pick up the phone and call. It's direct like to your point, Stephanie, direct message this individual to find out. You can put a big, broad message out, but folk are responding when it's directly with them.
Yeah. Putting your time and
Yeah.
energy in places that matter. I'm trying to summarize, y'all. Come on, I'm the Cliff Notes of these verbose co-hosts that I got right here. I'm speaking for the common people, and they high end. But Florence, I mean, I don't want to put you. I'm not going to put your business out there in the street. You're not even really on these platforms anyway, right? You don't really get down
Mhm.
with Instagram and Facebook and
I
what the
really
kids
don't,
at the
and I
Snapchats.
yeah, I never have.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Somebody in my community messaged me, direct messaged me one day this week, and said, I went on Facebook, and your face popped up, and I said to myself, I know Florence is not on Facebook. I was like, you're right,
So now you
you are
know.
right.
Also, that's why I don't
Uh,
tag you in the clips because you're not gonna see it anyway.
I'm
All
never gonna
right.
see it.
So
I'm like literally never gonna see
yeah,
it, or
no
I'll see
shade or
it 3 years
nothing.
from now.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
no, and I'm not mad about it. Uh, because I don't consume
Mm,
Mhm.
that, and I for me, very early, I started with the whole, this is the new thing, and then I was like, people are putting garbage on here that I have no interest in. I felt like my brain was dying a little bit at a time, so I just was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. So I just really stopped engaging with Facebook, not because I had a problem with Facebook in and of itself,
yeah.
just because I was like, yeah, I don't want to read all this. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be exposed to it. I don't want it in my space. So
Yeah.
what these people are putting out, I had no interest in close immediate family, close family. Before Facebook, they figured out how to get information to me. Hello,
Mm.
somebody.
Mhm.
Y'all
Being in the
consider that.
military,
Yeah.
being in the military and being deployed, I promise you, there's virtually no place on the planet if someone is close enough to you and important enough to you that they can't figure out how to get information to you that you need. And it does not require any social media.
My Lord.
Mhm.
She over there giving out the launch codes, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out. Florence.
I am
Flo-
not. I
Flo-
promise you, I am not.
Florence got the throwing the
However,
football.
however, so for me personally, it was
Mm.
just not, it wasn't important. I don't know a fancier way of saying it. It just simply was not important. Now, when you flip it and say, okay, I'm building an audience and I want the message to reach the right people that I'm here to serve and who are assigned to hear my voice, then the use of the tool becomes it's a different use. But for me personally, which is where it started, there was no use case for it.
Mm.
There could potentially be a use case when you look at it from the pure content creation, content marketing perspective, but there still is not a use case for me personally with my personal friends and family.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. I'll add to that just because I am still in the social media agency side of things and creating content. And I've I joined the Facebook bus because it was one of the major platforms that clients wanted to be on. But now they don't care if we post on Facebook or not. And that's a big switch where they're just kind of like, we know that if we post anything on a company page, it's not going to get as much reach as we want to. We don't have the bandwidth to launch a community on Facebook. And even if we did want to, we'd rather have it on School or Mighty Networks or somewhere else
Mm.
that we actually own. Second, or third, if I did want to post something, Facebook is pushing for the personal profile page, and I don't want any of my personal stuff out there. So they just kind of it's no longer on the must-have list for content distribution for any of our clients.
Right. So that piece, that's a significant
Yeah.
change, right?
Mhm.
You have this agency, and so you were serving the needs of your clients, and the needs of your clients is shifting.
Mhm. They
right?
want
So you're being
YouTube and they want
responsive.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm.
So
And especially if your clients are B2B, they want LinkedIn.
They
yeah,
do.
If
yeah,
it
They do.
because B2C is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. Even if
And
even if it
for
was
example,
B2C,
go ahead.
sorry, even if it was B2C, I would be on TikTok and on YouTube and on Instagram, not on Facebook.
oh, how the
That's where I would
tides
lean
have
towards.
turned in such a short period of time, though. I mean, I'm sitting here just being quiet and finding how interesting this is because, again, many of us, maybe not you, Florence, but built a decent following.
Following community. Yeah, like I mean, I used to be very active in the Ecamm Live Facebook group, which I love,
Yeah.
but then the conversation always remained the same, right? It's gear,
Yes, the same
production, what's wrong
conversation.
with my audio? It's the same thing year after year. And then I'm like, where are my friends that have been through this? Like, we don't talk about that anymore. Like, we've
Yeah.
gone past that. Like, we're talking about different things like monetization, building an empire, retirement, vacation, like different things. So our values have shifted in that sense. But I feel like some of the groups that I used to be a part of, no dig on Ecamm, it's just know your customer and whatnot. I'm not in that anymore. I know how to use Ecamm.
Yeah. We've outgrown that
So
conversation.
Yeah, I've outgrown that. Yeah.
And I would say, I'm sorry, Florence, I just want to say this too, because since we're talking about that, I am now being very, I don't know, smart ass with some of the responses that I put in that community because I see folks putting things about, Elgato or Shure in the Ecamm community. And it's like, hey, won't you ask that group? Right. So I'm not even being real helpful in that community because there's so many of the same redundant conversations. Again, no shade to them at all. I was, I'm just talking with them
There
earlier
should
this
be like a
morning about
chat
some
bot
things.
now in Facebook groups. Because I know if I ever
You can
posted
build
something
one.
like in my community neighborhood one,
You could
an
build one.
AI, like the Facebook chat bot would be like,
Yeah.
oh, you're looking for a new electrician? Here are the top answers that were from previous posts. I find that to be much more helpful versus someone that says like, well, I heard this and I heard that or blah, blah, blah.
We have grown, and I don't know if it's matured. We have just different seasons. I think that's very interesting. I'm sorry, Florence. I didn't mean to cut you off, but again, I'm an old man, so if I don't say it, I forget it. It falls out of my head.
I'm going to leave that alone.
Go ahead,
So I
child.
made the comment about leaving behind people who are not for me, and this is a form of that. When you are engaged or when I engage in a community, maybe it's a level of maturity in my journey, but am I now going to the community for me to be fed for something that a skill or a process or a level of understanding that I'm seeking for me to grow? Or am I going to this community because there's someone there for me to serve? Either of them is fine. If it doesn't fit in one of those categories, then it's not for me. Not I don't have a problem with the people in there or the group in and of itself, but what's the purpose?
Mm.
What is the purpose? And
If it doesn't, go
if
ahead.
it doesn't fit a purpose, why am I using one of these 1,440s?
Come on now. Let me put a. God, dog,
That
I
is
got a
very
shirt that
true.
says that. Oh, sorry. I got it.
I remember someone once told me, if it doesn't evolve me, it doesn't involve me. And I said, that's right.
Mhm. And so
Give me
I
2
know
hours. That's
who
gonna
I
be on the merch
am.
shop too. Hold on, let me write that down.
I I know who I am, and so it's not my comment is not a negative comment. My comment is a comment of recognition of where I personally have evolved to as a creator and what
Mhm.
I need at this juncture in my journey as a
Yeah.
creator.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean that others are not wonderful, that I don't care for. I absolutely care about them.
Yeah,
However, if they fed me as much as they can feed me, then I need to move on to where I get more nourishment.
Thank you.
that's a good
But I
point.
think that's another place where, like, there are certain communities where I was invited to speak at and whatnot, and I was like, I keep giving back to this community, but the community's never fed me. You know, like I got to focus on things that's going to help put food on the table for me and baby girl and do things. And there's only so many nonprofit
Yeah.
things that I could do,
What's the
like
word? Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's not per
Pro
diem.
bono.
Pro bono.
yeah.
All right, so I want to keep moving because y'all, that was only supposed to be like a quick bonus round. But see how we got into it, and I'm letting the conversation go. But that's real dope. But let me bring up one question that came from the community because John is asking. So, what did kill Facebook, in your guys' opinion?
So much has happened.
Crazy people. People who
Okay, yeah, let's go there. Well,
people
first off,
who don't who pe- people who have decided that being behind a keyboard, they don't need to be good citizens.
yeah, I
Mm,
feel like there was a lot of there was some kind of like regulations put into place when we had the Cambridge Analytica stuff that came out.
yeah. Yep.
And then so that was kind of like, okay, cool. Like the algorithm's doing what it's supposed to be doing, and um messages about like hate and all this other stuff like weren't making it to the platform. And then at some point it was, hey, just let them do whatever it is that they want to do. And then the feed itself just got really clunky in that sense. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
from a business page perspective, it was just there's no point. And then the deleting of the Facebook Live, it was just a lot of things that wasn't pro creator and more
it,
let's support groups that are just trying to get a rise out of people because it's engagement. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's this one podcast that I was listening to. It's like any company that's putting out an initiative, or you have to ask them what's the incentive for them. So the incentive for Facebook is to keep people on the platform, and what keeps people on the platform is when you get them riled up, when they're it's not an advancement of thinking in that sense. I don't go there for that.
right. So there's another demographic who are absolute content creators who are being disserved by what's happening with the platform. Just blanket houses
Yeah.
of worship. Facebook was the place for houses of worship. Not being able to easily and simply live stream into groups,
Yeah.
either public or private, was detrimental to houses of worship. Um, not distributing content because they could have a decent following and they put out something that they need their following to know. Things like what happens if there's a weather emergency or some other type of emergency,
Mm,
and they no longer could rely on people getting that information. So there are things like that that are separate from apart from the Florence Donalds of the world who never went on there really to begin with. I think I shared with you, James, at one point in one of our conversations. My brother is like, well, I can put something on Facebook and I can guarantee you she'll never see it. So if I don't want her to know something, put it on Facebook because she'll never see it. Um, and it had nothing to do with the platform. It was me. But houses of worship that relied on this platform as a communication vehicle with their constituency,
mm,
completely disserved by what the changes in the platform. There are
yeah.
no and there are a lot of people who are in the older demographic,
Mm,
that's what they know, and they could be missing critical information that they need because of the way the platform is behaving. I'm going to use that word right now. Um, and that's a level of sadness.
yeah.
Over and above the controversial conversations and things like that, but that particular community of people are not being served well.
I agree. I will say, from my perspective, it just got to be such an arduous task to put your content out there and have it reach the designated audience. Right? You never knew who was going to reach. if it was friends, friends of friends, if it was public, if it was private, right? There was all of these policies put in place behind the scenes that you really didn't know as the person creating and generating the content, putting on the platform. You expect it to go to a wide net when it was controlled, and that was again one of the
Mhm.
reasons why I would have been willing to pay for a premium version of the platform. But man, I'm through with that. I'm through with them folks, man. Okay, Mark Zuckerberg gonna call me. Come on over here, brother. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know,
So let
actually,
go ahead.
I'll pause real quick, like, because that would actually be a really good blog post just to talk about the migration of people getting off of Facebook. Because I think for me, it shifted when the algorithms started to reward engagement that focused more on like outrage and conflict and sensationalizing headlines.
Right.
And then I think at some point they let go all of the fact checkers. They're like, you know,
Yeah. See.
why fact check?
All
Right. So
right.
then it became an untrustworthy platform. And there's just like, I think this would be really cool if you created like an infographic or like a timeline. It's just like, and this happened, and then this
You had to
happened, and
tell
this
me two
happened.
times. That'll
And
be on Substack tomorrow.
I'd be curious to know like if the active users are actually real people or if they're bots now. Right.
Yeah.
And I don't even know
Wow.
if you saw like there's an article saying that Meta would like suppress people from putting like certain content out there, but then they were still like taking ad campaign money from China or something to talk about like it was weird. Like you can't talk about something, but if China put ads behind it, then they would sign off on it because they get a check.
Root of all
I'll
evil.
find a better source for you for you to read on. I
I
didn't do my best in explaining that,
That was
but you
right
get my
off the
point.
dome,
yeah,
right? That's
I
what that was. That was
Yeah,
right.
that was
But
right
pulling
off the
every
dome.
get it to me
brain
in
cell out
48
of there.
hours because
Yeah.
it's gonna be on my newsletter in 48 hours right there. That I wrote that down too. Let's keep it pushing though. Mr.
Mm.
Hunt is doing the moderator thing. Appreciate you, brother, for telling folks what to do and
Hey,
how to
David, and
keep
hey,
us.
Gretchen,
Well, Gretchen always here. She's making sure that I don't go off the rails, and it's too
Aldo, and
late.
me.
And it's too late for
Gretchen,
that.
I'm pushing Aldo around the people. Aldo is the bomb, and congratulations.
You gonna tell us about what you just
Yeah,
gonna?
what is that? You're
Her
gonna
Man.
keep us in the dark?
anniversary.
Oh,
Aldo
okay.
is her puppy, and he's wonderful.
Oh.
And we have a whole relationship, me and Aldo. And
You just having your own
he
show
was
now.
yeah, and he was celebrating her anniversary the other day.
Amen.
Mm.
Yeah.
Lord have
So
mercy. Gretchen,
that's all.
we appreciate your family. You know, she just started having her own little segue. I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna cut that out, ladies. That's gonna be
Nice
a
little
clip. So moving forward, I broke this down into two extra segments, and the segments are what creators, and I'm gonna say creator/professionals should stop doing, and then another one, what creator/professionals should start doing. So we already talked about the one thing that we're personally leaving behind, and we started iterating about talking about platforms, talking about gear, talking about infrastructure, and that's one thing. And I also don't like having that conversation. So let me ask both of you this: what? See, I listen. I listen. There it is. What outdated content formats or posting schedules, what should you say, should creators stop forcing themselves into? So should we? I'm not even going to do that. So what outdated posting formats and schedules? I got to look down at my questions 'cause I got it written down. I wrote down some nice questions, y'all. Should
A
creators
lot of them
stop?
too. A
a lot.
lot of them.
I'm ready. You can go first now, Florence, if you don't mind. And since you want to heckle from the back of the room,
So I don't think there are outdated content formats. I think what creators should stop doing is using formats that doesn't serve their audience. That leads that the creator must have clarity on who they're serving. Who are they targeting? Who is the message for? That then will determine the content format. So the outdated format is not that any specific one is outdated, but it may not be the right format for their target audience.
I'll even add
That
or that platform too.
or that platform. We're not going to go back to the conversation we just had.
I was getting ready to go there
Well,
too.
no,
Don't go
because
there. Don't go there. Leave
what I
it
was
alone. Leave
saying
it
is,
alone.
coming from a social media agency background, like the old thinking is, I'm going to produce this one piece of content and then I'm going to blast it across all social media channels and then that's it. I'm done with it. And I think that's where, like, every platform is different. Like, when we're coaching clients, especially on LinkedIn, it's not necessarily about how many times that you are posting on your company page. It's who in your company is speaking on your behalf. So it's like C-level product marketing roadmap, like your product marketing managers, and then your customer support. Like, those are like three primary voices I would want to hear on a company page. So company page, you could talk about whatever, your webinars and your announcements, but you should also be resharing what other people, employee generated content is doing on there. That strategy is very different from what I would roll out on Facebook or Instagram, YouTube, and on TikTok. So I think the old thinking of, I'm going to create this one piece of content and then I'm just going to spray and pray, put it everywhere and check it off the list as like, I did that. I wouldn't do that.
So let's dive into
Right.
that, because
So
that's actually part of the
yeah.
next question that I had. How? Let's talk about how. We can talk about it. Yeah, you can't just create one piece of content and expect that 9x16 to go in on LinkedIn, on Snapchat. Why do I keep bringing up Snapchat? I'm not on
You are.
TikTok.
You
I
just
keep bringing
let
it
it
up.
out. Y'all, James
What
is
is
on
that
Snapchat.
about?
I'm out there
What you doing on
snapping.
Snapchat? What you doing on Snapchat?
I'm trying to hang
Hold on, let me go
with the
find you
youngsters.
real quick.
I'm probably, I don't know. I got an account. Yeah.
How's your streak coming along?
I don't know what that's all about, but you know. So again, you can't create one YouTube short and expect that to resonate as much or as well as the same on LinkedIn or on Twitter. I'll always call it Twitter and never call it X, right? Because different communities and audiences grab that content and consume that content in a different way. So how are you, let me ask you this, Stephanie, because you were going on that path. How are you telling your clients to take one piece of content from like a 60-minute live stream like this, cut it up, you make a YouTube short, and then how do you change that to be Instagram friendly, to be LinkedIn ready?
Yeah, so for Instagram, it would be a cut up reel in that sense and
Yeah.
then drive it back. But Instagram, even when I think of Instagram, I would turn it into a thread. So threads work really well
Yeah.
as far as like, here's something that Florence said, here's something that James said, here's the full episode, would be like the very last piece of that thread that puts it on there. But that format of a thread wouldn't work well on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, I would do something different where it's, for me, what I find that's working for clients is one photo and then bullet points in that sense. And then your first comment should be a link back to your blog post or to the full length of the video. And that's how it's generally going to be then in as far as how it works. And I think a lot of times too is even your YouTube content strategy is going to be very different. Like we're now telling clients, your shorts are going to have higher velocity and getting out there in front of people. You're going to get more views faster on a short than you are on a long form video. So weight your content differently that way. And then if you have the opportunity to do a live stream, clients still kind of struggle in doing a live stream, popping that in there at least once a week or even just bi-weekly is going to be helpful. But also don't ignore the community post page, because when I open up my YouTube app and I just see how big Hormozy's like image post is, it's bigger as far as like real estate versus like a regular 16:9 video in the app. So I think that thinking of, I'm just going to take one piece of content and then blast it across everywhere, it's becoming more prominent. Like you just can't do that. Like it doesn't work like that anymore. It's very
Perfect.
lazy marketing.
There you go. There we go. There it is right there. Flora, I'm gonna let you get in, but I was waiting for kind of some specific things to come out of that, because Stephanie's in that world and in that game right now. And lazy marketing, lazy content creation, it may have worked before, and you could surf the slop tsunami all you wanted to back before, but it's no longer going to be relevant and profitable for you from price versus cost, time versus and your energy type of conversation. And the fact that you said Instagram, you said threads. So talk to me about threads versus carousels, because I was waiting for you to say carousels, because I see you do that a lot, right? Right. You put the images up, then you put call to actions and bullets, and then a link or something. But are you also telling clients to leverage threads?
Yes, on threads.
Yeah.
because oftentimes if people find your threads to be insightful, and they actually have a really good way of hashtags and categorizing content so you could find other people within your community. Like I found like in-person events very easily on threads.
Okay.
Super helpful. But if I wanted to learn more about Florence and I saw a thread of hers, it would take me over to her Instagram profile and I could kind of get to know her that way in that sense. But we don't do carousels for clients. Carousels, what I've typically found, and this is working with multiple SaaS companies, is people like to share and bookmark, but that's it.
Okay.
You know, I've never seen it. I've never seen like a BDR or a salesperson say like, "Oh yeah, someone signed this multi-million-dollar contract because they saw a carousel." No, there are other things that led that conversation or that sale across the finish line, and it was most likely going to be a YouTube video, a webinar, or a live stream where someone was actually speaking in real time. Like a carousel asset wasn't really for me with my clients. Never.
Makes
So
sense.
you
Never
just
Makes
raised a
sense.
question for me, Stephanie. It's the world of the carousel, so I don't know Instagram. Instagram and you and the other thing we were talking about, you know. But perhaps because I've heard so much about carousels, is it more the creator who's looking to build to get a quote unquote brand deal or something along those lines than it is true B2B, where you've got a sizable company or a SaaS company and their perspective and their goals are very different. They're not
Yeah.
trying to get a brand deal.
Yeah.
They are the
Yeah.
brand.
The only people that I've actually really seen leveraging carousels are service-based businesses that are trying to sell content marketing services. Like these are the 10 hooks that you should use,
Okay.
and then swipe to see them. Like those are. But again,
Oh,
the
okay.
algorithm serves to me what I typically am interested in, right?
Mhm.
But lately these days I've been interested in like all-inclusive resorts, and the place I go to
Come on
that is
now.
TikTok. I've never seen an Instagram carousel telling me like the top 5 all-inclusive resorts that I should go to, or top 5 reasons I should go to
Okay.
Disneyland Tokyo versus Disneyland Disney World Florida. I
It's
go to
cheaper.
TikTok for
It's
that.
cheaper to go to Tokyo. You probably saw that same
Exactly.
one. That
That
is,
I'm in that algorithm right
we in
now.
this. We in that same one. Okay. See, and that's interesting, right?
Okay.
Because again, it is a different perspective, different conversation for a different audience using the same platform,
Right.
right?
Right.
A
So
thread
it
versus
goes
a
back to
carousel versus a reel.
what's the
Yeah.
purpose? What is the purpose? So you're talking to someone who doesn't use these platforms.
Yeah.
I use LinkedIn. I
Yep.
don't use the other 2 that we've talked about so far, the 3. I'm deciding whether I'm going to use one of them. And my exposure, because I don't come from content marketing. Remember that I come from a completely different
Yeah.
world. And so when I hear that conversation, I'm like, well, what's the purpose and why would you want to use this carousel thing? Why would you want to use the story thing? You're talking like I am the complete absolute novice with this stuff. So y'all, no hate, no judgment,
No, I mean let's go down. Let's
whatever.
go down that
But I
rabbit hole because I think
am.
it's a good
And
one.
so I actually literally asked someone about a week ago, what the heck is a story? I have no idea
Mhm.
because I don't look at it. I don't use it
Yeah.
really, truly. If it serves the people I'm supposed to be serving, then I want to know about it. Otherwise, peace out.
Yeah, I mean, stories are nice to keep you on top of like the feed, right? But you're kind of like you're feeding the beast the entire time. And what I find
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
helps me get more clients is when I could show results that's going to stay there longer than 24 hours. Like to me, I'm like, don't share your wins on an Instagram story because not everyone's going to see it. And when it disappears, that's it. You're not going to share it anywhere else. You're not going to put it in a case study. You're not going to put it on a white paper or somewhere on LinkedIn where you could have like the featured section. Like those are the places I
Yeah.
would put my wins. I don't mind
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, humble brag. Here's an Instagram story. But if that's the only way that I'm doing it, then that's the reason why you're not getting any new clients because it disappears. And
So in my world, in my brain as you say that, novice here. Why would I even spend my time doing that? Like, that to me seems
No,
like a
yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah,
waste
yeah.
of time.
I know why we do that, and you actually mentioned this about 20 minutes ago. Is because we're voyeurs. As
Oh,
a
yeah.
society, we are
Okay.
voyeurs. We right.
Okay.
We want to see, or we want to say, look at, and let's talk about this again. Folks want to
I'm gonna go a
see.
little deeper. I think people will do the quick and easy Instagram story because then they could say like, "I did my marketing for the day. I did a story, check." And it's like, but did it really get you the results that you wanted, the depth and this? Because in reality, one story isn't really going to help a client cross the finish line. If you really wanted to do Instagram stories very well, you would do a series of stories.
Yeah.
You would do a
Okay.
3-part series with a call to action at the end. But if you're just doing a random one story, I mean, there's no nice way to say it. You're just half-assing it. So
Well,
why
again, that's
half-ass it?
right again.
You better be full versus half.
But that's the what it's being the lazy, what I'm gonna say, lazy, the
The
lazy
lazy
foyer,
marketing. Yeah.
right? Because again, I want to put out that one post that says, "I'm look at me, woo woo," but don't want to put the
Mhm.
energy and the effort behind creating that blog post, creating that infographic, creating that short, doing all the other stuff. I just want to do the one
Yeah.
thing and
So
think that it's going to get me
so
to that next level.
so I'm gonna you what should uh part of your question and what creators should stop forcing themselves to do to maintain back to this. I'm coming back to Stephanie as this expert. Um I've heard that people love, they use this whole sharing their life. I'm not sharing my life. Point
Hmm.
blank period. I don't give a crap. Who tell me? I'm not doing that. You're not gonna
Yeah.
see my kitchen, my bathroom. That's never gonna happen on this earth.
Yeah.
So there's to me and the way I consume and the people that I want to serve and I believe are destined to hear my voice are people who are focused on they don't care about my kitchen.
Mm.
They don't
No.
care about paintings on the wall. What they care about is how do I get done what's important to me?
How do
And
you
how can
think?
you help
How do
me?
you solve
How do
problems?
you
Yep.
think? How do you solve problems? How do you help me solve my problem that I have? What
Mhm.
transformation? So, with that in mind, to what you were saying, if you were going to do a series of these story things that disappear in 24 hours, that means you're intentional about planning ahead and
Mhm.
preparing ahead. You're not someplace in the moment, oh, look at me, I look cute, and grabbing it and posting it. And now, again, novice here, just my perception. Maybe I'm thinking wrong headed. Tell me if I am.
I mean, in all honesty, I don't always share where I'm at in real time
Yeah,
because
don't do that.
safety.
Yeah, listen,
Yeah,
don't do
right.
that.
I don't need you to know that I'm not at home.
Man.
Don't go to my home,
Mhm.
right? Um, yeah, I think there's just certain things that work on Instagram. Like if someone looks at my Instagram story because I know that I'm setting up for a pitch, right? I will then see who viewed my stories, and if they have a story, I'll view them because now it's like, oh, we're kind of peeking on each other, but now I'm going to stay at the top of your feed and all of that others. There's just so much to it when you think about social media marketing and community engagement and management of it.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if you want to build an audience on Instagram, you have to figure out what are all the different features and how do you leverage those features, because the one asset and then publishing it across all and posting and ghosting and thinking that's going to work, it's not going to work. There's certain
Right.
things that we have to do for clients on TikTok that we don't have to do on Instagram or this or that.
Yeah.
And like even on LinkedIn, we put more emphasis on commenting on your ICP's LinkedIn content versus you publishing more content, right? So it's more
Right.
about you commenting and engaging with other people and being a part of the community versus just posting and ghosting and like, how come no one's engaging? It's like, well, because you're just in it for yourself at that point.
Mhm.
There go that lazy
And
person
maybe
again.
that's one of those things. And not necessarily, I don't know that it's lazy.
No, it's
Hicks,
lazy.
but the person who doesn't
No.
has not crossed the point where they're understanding that the reason they're creating content and the reason they're distributing this content, they don't know what their purpose is. They don't have
Mhm.
clarity around it. And so they're doing it maybe from the perspective of this feels good to me and I want to do it because I enjoy doing it
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
and
that.
have
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it. Absolutely not. But the expectation of the return is out of alignment with
Mm.
the input. I don't know that I would say the person is lazy. I would think that the expectation of the return is not in alignment with the input because those two don't line up,
Or
right?
Yeah.
uninformed. Okay.
If you're doing it just for fun, you may
Yeah.
grow an audience, but the return you get may not, it's highly unlikely going to be what you're expecting. If you're expecting to get a revenue or grow your business or even grow, you may be a nonprofit and you're not trying to grow your business, but maybe you're trying to grow your reach to reach more people with your message.
Yeah.
If but if you're not clear about that and you're just doing this thing out here, those two things are not lining up. They're out of alignment.
Okay. I
Yeah.
like that. And we talk about that in different words a lot about, again, rising above the noise and understanding what your intentionality is, and also talking
Mhm.
about folks that, yeah, doing this for fun, content creation, solopreneurship, entrepreneurship, things that, nothing wrong with that. But there's a good handful of us that have kind of jumped that broom. Right. And we're looking at it from a whole different lens. We don't mind, and we want to bring other folks with us. But I say lazy because if they don't want to take that next few steps to put that vision board on the wall, I point over there because that's where it is. Right, I'm looking at it. If they don't want to take those next steps to figure out what it is that's the next short, mid, and long term, 3, 6, 9 months. That's 9 months long term for me. That I can't think anything further than that. Then to me, that's maybe lazy is a bad word, but again, it's not being locked
There's
in, not being
strategy.
focused, not having being tactical instead of being strategic.
Yeah,
Right.
there's no
Yeah,
real strategy around it, and I think a
there's
lot
no
of creators
strategy.
start to realize that they stress themselves out because 'cause they're trying to create
Yeah.
new content, new content, new content, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Imma remix this. Imma get my Whitney
Man,
Houston Greatest Hits album, and I'm just gonna keep playing it because I know it's always gonna be a chart topper." Mariah Carey, every December, no,
every year.
November 1st, knows she's gonna get her royalties. I'm gonna get my royalties from my Greatest Hits post because if you just met me this month, today, you don't know what I posted last year or the year before that, and I've been creating content for forever. So,
It's
there's no
funny you
reason
say
for
that.
me to just people keep recycling, remixing songs, Imma do the same thing, and I'm still gonna get my royalties because now Facebook is gonna do the content monetization. Fine, you know? I don't mind that,
I'm not gonna put your
and
business out there in these streets. I'm sorry to interrupt, but listen,
wait, okay, my daughter's
Stephanie.
here, so I'll be right back.
Okay, so see, and she gonna leave, and I'm gonna talk about it. Okay, but so here's the
That she running away.
so literally, Stephanie did that exact thing just recently. She remixed
Mhm.
a post that she put out on social, and it happened either last year or 2 years ago. But time and place seemed like it happened actually recently. So she remixed
Mhm.
that and got
Mhm.
engagement,
Well,
and so she's a master at that, just again by making it look like it's something that's happening right now, but literally what she posted actually happened last year. So she's
mhm,
speaking it
and
into
that makes
existence.
sense because we need to hear and see messages over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Especially today where so few people really read
Mm-mm.
and retain what they read and do less critical thinking, repeating I had an experience to share. I'm going to share this. Had an experience this week where there was some information shared with someone. Literally, it was the time that something was supposed to happen in multiple ways, multiple times, direct message, just speaking directly to the person. So this kind of goes to this example. The person missed a time. And then the person came to me and said, and was apologizing. There's no reason to apologize. It is what it is. Let's move along. I value you. The message from that was because the person had this, the event was typically at a one time, the time changed. And even though there were many, 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 many different ways of outreach directly to the individual to get the new time, they didn't read. If they did read, they didn't retain, and they fell back on what they had put in their mind earlier. That's the reason you can repeat, because people fall back on habit and they don't retain. I do it. I'm not talking about somebody else. I'm talking about me, but I'm just sharing the experience that I had. So as communicators, when we realize that, then we can say, okay, I've talked about ABC. Let me go a little deeper. Let me share that again, but from a different angle. Because there's someone who, the person may not have seen it the first time or heard it the first time. They may have been listening, but they were distracted by something going on in their environment. And they just, goes out your head. It falls right out.
You can only
I'm
remember a
here to
couple of
tell you,
things every single
it
day.
falls right out.
I love that.
So that actually makes sense as a communicator, which we are. We are communicators. So as a communicator, being able to deliver a core piece of a message and information that's going to help someone, that's going to answer a question, that's going to solve a problem in a multitude of ways and formats is serving them, in my opinion.
Okay, so let me
You all
ask
can
this.
tell me I'm a lunatic.
No, you're not a lunatic. I mean, you ain't crazy, child. Listen. So let me ask this, and kind
We
of
all
in
got a little
alignment with
crazy
that,
in us.
a little bit. I know I got a whole lot of crazy, and people in the audience, please continue to, like Mr. Hunt says, put a Q in there so we can talk about it. David, I'm gonna hold your question about reels, shorts, stories, and carousels until Stephanie comes back, so she can answer that.
Yeah, because
Before.
I can't help you. I don't even know what they are. I don't know.
You did that to yourself, child. You did that to yourself. I could answer
I
it, but
did, and I actually think I do know what a carousel is now. That's when they do the little picture thing. It's almost like a little slide show.
yes,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Okay.
But we'll let her answer that, instead of my trifling answers.
Okay.
You kind of alluded
Let's
to it.
continue.
Yeah, you kind of alluded to it just now, and community and engagement is kind of where I want to go to now. So, strategies that you think feel that we're doing now, or that maybe some folks are doing now that we should stop. Which ones feel kind of inauthentic? Which engagement strategies do you think feel inauthentic, or I'm gonna say performative, and that we should stop
Just
doing?
putting information out.
Mhm.
And I'm going to use me as an example. In my community in school, if I just posted and I never went in and responded to community members, asked for clarification, or said, hey, this thing is happening, and come back and share with the community and the results, then that's being performative. I'm just simply going to throw some stuff out there. I'm throwing
Mhm.
spaghetti against the wall, hoping something sticks. I'm also not nurturing and building a relationship. If I tell my community, hey, you can DM me, but then I get the DMs and I don't respond. What the what?
Yeah.
That needs to go. One of the things I love about school, which I didn't like in the beginning, I didn't understand, is you cannot pre schedule posts. You have to put
Mm.
them in and hit the post button. You can't schedule 7 days of stuff and have it go out. No, every day, if you want 7 days, 7 days, you're going to have to put it out. Now, there are things that I do to help me with that with some automation, but you actually have to click the button, open the little box, put the content in, and hit post. You cannot say, I'm going to schedule a week's worth of stuff and it's going out. that forces you to be authentic, because even while at least for me, while I'm posting, I don't really like this. So I'm going to change it. And while I'm in there, I'm going to see what community members have made a comment. I'm going to respond to the community members' comment. I'm going to ask a question. It's going to spark me to share something else with them. So that's not performative and it's not inauthentic. You can still plan out what you're going to put in and think ahead and know what you want to do. But that's how I separate these strategies in a community. Now, some of the other communities, you can treat them the same way, but they do have scheduling in, which kind of leads itself to you kind of posting and ghosting, as the saying goes,
Yeah.
because you don't have to be in there every day.
Yeah, but that just seems so inauthentic or ingenuous, though, to do that.
It's for me, it's not the genuine me. When the community members, when I'm putting something in, I have written it. It's really from me. I will say, like, y- I'm doing 31 days of gift of time, which is I'm posting and asking questions about how people are using their 1,440. There's some little question. Well, I'm answering those questions as well, because I didn't pre-answer the questions, not a single solitary one of them. I pre-wrote the questions in the
Mm-hmm.
post.
Mm-hmm.
Then once I actually put it out, I do the work that I'm myself, that I'm treating myself like a community member. So when I come back later and answer it, it's because, okay, I've sat with this now. I've either done the exercise or I've done the thing. And one day I was like, I don't even know how to deal with this because I didn't. Like, that's real. Like, I wrote the question and I
Yeah.
don't even know how to deal with it.
Interesting.
I was just, I was just like real. So
So let's.
those are things that people can do.
Well, we were talking about what we should stop doing, and now I want to get into, and again, you started alluding to some of the new tools, some of the new tactics, best practices for, and it's not just for this 2026 coming up. I think it's just moving forward as well. That's why I didn't want to put a date or a year on this title. Um, and again, you kind of alluded to that already. What's a content approach? What's a strategy that, as we flip the calendar to a new year, that solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, creators should start doing more of, or should start doing if they're not doing already? And school being one. So,
Being in
and not necessarily just school, but
well,
I would say
the right,
building a
but the
platform on a platform that you own. I don't want to put words in your
right.
mouth, but I
So
really
it
think that's
doesn't
huge.
the yeah, but being whatever the platform, whether it's Mighty Networks or Kajabi or school or wherever, or even if it's Facebook. But if there's a community component in your, well, Facebook, you're not going to own. I think your community, you own it if it's Substack, any number of them, Circle. So pick your favorite, and really starting to be intentional about why you're there and what your goals are for the people you're destined to serve. What transformation are you prepared to help them go through
Mm.
and to walk alongside them? I heard years ago, and I didn't understand it at the time. I feel like I'm now beginning to understand it. If you help enough people get what they want, you will get everything you want. So the approach is really thinking about what it is you are doing to serve others, not yourself. The platform, as long as you own it, it's kind of secondary,
What does that
in my
mean?
opinion.
What does that mean if you own it?
Meaning,
I'm
meaning,
instigating. I'm
yeah, but it Because your strategy,
Yeah.
you can apply the strategy across any number of these community-based platforms. The tactics and the mechanics of how the community function, one may have some features that another one doesn't, but strategically, if you're focused on serving the audience that's for you in the community that you're designing, you know what the transformation is, and you are being very strategic about Q1, Q2, Q3, whatever your time frame is, even if it's in weeks, then you have to be intentional. You cannot be haphazard. It will not work and they will not get what they need. I started planning December
Mm.
months ago. I'm planning February, March at this point for my community, separate and apart from YouTube and everything else, specifically for my community.
You're leaning heavier into the community. So this is a question this is where I'm going kind of with this pivot of
Welcome
questions.
back, lady.
There you go.
Thank you.
So and we've kind of touched on this already, and Stephanie, you can chime in now that you're back. Should we narrow that scope of all of these platforms that we're working on? So we moved into what creators, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs should start focusing on for the new coming year. Florence started talking about communities, started talking about platforms that we have a mortgage for instead of having a rental lease for. And should we start doubling down, going deeper, and building the schools and the mighties and the circles and the stuff that I can say that I own that email, that list for, as opposed to throw everything against the wall, say it and spray and hoping. Again, I kind of know the answer, but I want to hear from you two experts there as well. What should we be doing as business owners and folks that are serious? Continue to do the boil the inside joke. Should we continue to boil the ocean, or should we
Only James Hicks boils the ocean.
take my glasses off? Got me over here sweating.
I mean, in all honesty, I still think there is value in distributing your content across platforms, but I don't think that should be the only tactic that you employ in your content strategy. Like if I was a small business and I had limited marketing budget, I would leverage the community of other voices, right? So if I'm a small business, like let's say I own a bakery, I just opened up. I'm going to leverage the Facebook groups of like the moms, the this, the that might need someone to sponsor their soccer games or whatever. Like that would be my approach versus spending like 3-5 grand a month on shorts and reels and things of that sort. Like I would leverage the community as far as building my business in that end. So I do see value in distributing your content. I also do see value in building your own community, but there also needs to be a strategy around that. Like I come from like gamification and game design is a part of my background as well. So like leaderboards, feedback loops, how do you keep people engaged? I mean, those are the same things that they do across the other social media platforms, but just because you created a school, right? doesn't mean that it's going to keep people engaged and retained in it. So,
Right.
you can even make a Facebook group, but even then people are doing challenges inside of the group, or before we would do live streams in a group. Like there are certain things that we would do to gamify it. So I'm still against the whole like post and ghost, right? You should still engage in certain things. It's just that if I'm going to post on social media, I'm very strategic in the sense that I'll put the post out there, then I will have a first pinned comment for people to comment back on. And then I'm most likely going to be sharing it in a specific group. Some people might hate that idea of engagement pods, but you know what? It works.
Yeah.
It works. And so, yeah, I think when you know how to leverage the different platforms and how to dedicate your time, like I'm on my soapbox because I'm still in these social media groups and I still see contractors and freelancers pricing their services as I'm posting 8 times a month for a client for this much. Is that good? Like, is that good? I'm like, no, that sucks. I'm like, stop what you're doing. There's a reason why you're not winning any clients. Like, I'm not paying you per post. That's BS. Like,
Mhm.
I want someone who's going to be a strategic partner and take a look at my content strategy, and to what Florence has been saying, align it with my business goals. Like, which avatar, like where are they in the customer journey process? Are you pulling out the testimonials for me? Are you telling me what my greatest hits are? Those are the things that I'm looking more for. So the social media manager groups, I'm like, oh, I need to get out of this group.
It just
We're still
need
talking
to
about this.
evolve, right? I get right. What you were just going to say, still talking about what was good and popular 2, 3 years, not even that long ago. But don't be lazy. Again, I'm gonna say that word. Don't be lazy. Evolve with what's happening in the times, and book a consultancy with SG. I don't even know what's the business. What's the official? Oh, was it Lights Camera Action?
Lights, Camera, Live.
Oh, see, I was close.
Yeah. So Lights, Camera, Live. And then we have the production agency, which is Short Form Pros.
Man, y'all be
And so even
killing it.
then, yeah, we're doing really well. Like, we're fine. And then I'm just going to put this out for any of you that are freelancers or consultants and you're trying to get new clients. The thing that worked for us, and write this down, is go on LinkedIn, look for jobs. And if that's something that your agency provides, just be like, hey, why hire one person when you could have a team, a whole entire account team helping you create content across all platforms that have the knowledge of how to get engagement, how to retain them. Plus, we know how to support your paid media strategy. They love that. At that point, they're just kind of like, yeah, you're right. Why should I have one person when I have like a whole army that's willing to step in and grab it by the reins and kind of go about it that way? That's how we're winning clients, honestly.
I'm trying to
And that's
figure
on
how I
LinkedIn.
get on the website here. I'm just trying to how I get on the sizzle reel. Okay, but I will. Your links are already in the description as
Ja-
well. But again,
James,
this
go
is the
back to
truth
the
here.
question that David Hunt had asked, so that Stephanie can drill into that a little bit.
Oh, about the because I wanted to save the expert to answer that question specifically about the difference between what's a reel, what's a story, and what's a carousel. Because again, we want to make sure that we
Uh,
have clarity in terms of what those different things are.
a
And hey,
reel
Dr.
is
Stone.
hey. So a reel is like your short form vertical video that shows up on Instagram, right? And there are advantages in it in the sense that you could leverage trending audio, you could tag people, you could have a collaboration post, you could pin it to the very top of it. So it's a really nice thing to have on there. Stories are little like ephemeral things. They only stay there for about 24 hours and then they disappear unless if you were to highlight it. So like on your profile, you would have like your Instagram, your bio, and then you have like these little circles that you could put on there. So for me, it would be like testimonials, FAQs, and services. That's how I do it. Or if I'm a travel agent, I would say Mexico, Spain, Japan, right? And then you could see different stories that highlight it and then DM me for more information. The carousels is like a PowerPoint presentation. That's the best way for me to just, it's like a PowerPoint presentation and you're just swiping through it. And people like those because if it's informative, then they could bookmark it. But again, because oftentimes people focus on the how-to tutorials, I find that usually attracts the DIY audience. I don't want the DIY audience. I want the audience that wants it done
Mm,
for them.
mm.
Okay. You could DIY all you want, but if you're just like, I don't want to DIY, I want it done for me. That's when you call me because I'll do it for you. It's the white glove service. It's the red carpet reels. I'll get it done for you. I'm not trying to teach you how to do it because you got a business and a P&L to run. So I'm not going to teach you like what gear to buy. I'm going to come to you with like 30 scripts, right? 24 of them will be short form videos. 6 of them will be long form videos. And then by the time we're done with it, you have all this content for the entire quarter. I take care of the publishing, the posting, and the community management, and then I work with your paid team. And that's it. They
And
love that because then they're
yeah,
like, okay, you just need one day out of a quarter and I'll have all this content. I'm like, yeah, game over, done.
as another level of
And
conversation, because people will pay attention to what they pay for, and I can guarantee you that your rate for do it for me is much different than it is for the DIY audience or
Yes.
clientele.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And what Stephanie just laid out for
Mm.
us is, as the creator, you must be have absolute clarity on what your goals are. Her goal is to build her client base for her agency where she's delivering white glove service. She's very clear about that. So she knows exactly how she's going to communicate and deliver as a strategic communicator, how she's going to deliver the message regardless of the platform, whether it's email subscribers, Instagram, whoever, LinkedIn, whether it's an article or commenting on a potential client or inside of a group. She's very strategic because she knows she has absolute clarity on her goal. That is the difference. Getting to that point of clarity, not being busy to be busy, not doing because it's what everybody else is doing, what everybody else tell you you should do to be a creator. Go sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
Get to that, like,
Hard
get to
conversation
that
to
point of
have, but
clarity.
it's a good conversation to have.
It is a good
Yeah.
conversation to have. Yeah. And
Yeah.
something that I always tell like my clients too is it's funny. You guys probably heard this story too, but one of my most popular live streams was how to create 94 pieces of content from a single live stream. And I showed people step by step how I would take a live stream, use Descript, and I would do this and I turn it into a story, into a reel, and blah, blah, blah. And then eventually that one thing turned into a workshop. And then that workshop turned into a keynote. And then that keynote turned into a book, right? But then that wasn't the end of it. This is where I'm like, this is the royalties, right? This is the greatest hits. Just because I presented that at one conference doesn't mean I can't present it to a different conference and still get paid for it. So I get paid by teaching marketers. I get paid by teaching dentists. I get paid by teaching real estate, but I'm not recreating the wheel every single time. But I am taking, hey, the doctors loved it. The lawyers loved it. Give me your testimonials. And then I spruce up my landing page for my speaker assets. But that 94 ways, I've been banking on that for like 10 a decade now. And every now and then the platforms might change, but what Florence and I were saying is like this, the thinking, the methodology, the strategy behind it, the reasoning, that's what people love that's what they're paying for, but I'm not stressed about it.
Maturation right there.
Trust and believe, but
Yeah.
the gift of time it will live on. It's not a one and done. There was a reason I did it the way I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It sounded better when you said it. I just said one word. I'm trying to be cute. Maturation. But
sorry.
Compounding effects.
No worries. It's all good. I'm concise. But so let me do this again. I want to be cognizant of time, and I want to kind of bring this plane in here in just a second. But I want to ask 2, maybe 3 more questions. And we've gone around it. We've talked about revenue. We've talked about monetization. You're talking about as a business, and folks that are just doing this for fun can still listen. Revenue streams and or business models. What should folks early stage in their career in this industry should they start considering? So how can folks that are just now firing up a YouTube channel, just now saying that they want to go out and talk to a community, what are some revenue streams or kind of a business model conversation that they can start doing for this coming year? How do folks start making money doing the thing that they have just a passion for? That's what I'm trying to ask.
I would do joint ventures. I would find a group that would need what I'm offering and teaching, but they don't have anyone else doing it. So, for example, someone might be really good at organic content, but they don't have anyone in their community talking about videos, short form videos. So I could go into their Facebook group and say, I'm going to teach you how we use poppy.ai to script for our clients, and then go through that process. And PS, by the way, if you want X, Y, and Z, you guys have an exclusive VIP or something specific to that group. And then that same group admin or whoever owns that mastermind, they could come into my community because I don't have anyone talking about organic, or I don't have anyone talking about X, Y, and Z. So for example, one of my clients talks about building your wealth by investing in RV parks. He's like, don't do Airbnbs, because Airbnbs, you got to like fix toilets and you got to deal with tenants. But RV parks, they prepay in advance, right? And so he has a friend who talks about how to leverage your 401k and then do a self-directed to then fund it into his stuff. So then they swap. That's a really great way to leverage other people's audiences. So I think you already have content. You know what content works. You just have to find the right places to distribute it. So rather than trying to like pull your hair out, like, what should I talk about today? And it's like, you need to be in the right rooms and having the right conversations.
Oof.
Because not everyone is going to explain it the way that you do it. But if you already have the process, the workflow, the presentation, right? Like, you know what works. You just have to be in the right rooms where people haven't heard your name yet.
Man, I'm letting that marinate right there. Man, you got to get in them right rooms. Stop trifling and being in the wrong rooms with them crabs in a barrel that either on this. Okay, I don't want to talk about folks, but that aren't on the same trajectory as you. That's one thing that I'm personally trying to leave behind. Florence, I'm gonna let you chime in on that as well. But there's a point in time where you got to start. Folks are at a different season than you are. And there's really no harm, no shame, no foul in saying, man, I love you and respect you and all, but I'm going this direction. I'm going in this room, like Stephanie is talking about. You can stay here if you want to, but we pushing forward. And again, it's not. It might be personal, and then it might not be personal. It's professional, but this is how we get out of our own way and how we don't fall into I wish I could have, I should have, and opportunity missed. I know I got this great content. I know I got this great message to share with a community or with an audience, but I waited or I listened to naysayers. I listened to those crabs in the barrel saying, you don't know what you're doing.
Sometimes you are doing it yourself.
Getting out of your own
Sometimes
way.
you are
Yeah.
your own sometimes you are your own crab in a barrel all by yourself. So be aware of that. And this whole you said a key thing, the beginner, the very beginner who has not started yet or who is just getting started. Depending on the person's background, realize there are costs, and you want to do as much as you can to make this endeavor, even if it's a hobby, cost neutral. So figure out ways from where you are today, starting as brand new, to make it as cost neutral, get as close to being cost neutral as possible. Get to that break even point as quickly as you can. That may mean some very simple things: affiliate programs, some simple courses you can put together, speaking. If you have a public speaking background, maybe you get to doing public speaking more on platform and off platform or in real life. When I started, I had been doing in real life speaking for years, many years. And I wasn't video recording them or anything because that wasn't something on my radar.
Yeah.
But I had that behind me and in my pocket already. I came to content creation with clients already who knew me from other places in other ways. So just for that beginner, give it some real thought. Like, how am I going to make this? How do I get to break even as fast as possible?
That's a good point. I like that. All right. Man.
Because you don't get to break even, the rest of it doesn't matter.
Uh-oh. You just spinning your wheels. Okay, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole because I keep it here and I'm getting hungry. Again, always talking about food.
Man, I'm really good then. I'm not hungry at all. Look at
You know,
me.
I collect fountain pens. So I'll use an example. What I know is it's not, I didn't just spend money on these fountain pens. If I need to, I can resell them, and some of them at some very nice prices.
Yeah.
So it's not just buying fountain pens to buy fountain pens, even though I love them. If I need to, the person who I use, the person who I go to, has like, when are you going to bring these in and sell them? I want to buy them from you. So that cost neutral thing or break even, think about it. And I'm not perfect at it. I never want someone to think Florence is far from it. Some of this has come because I have had to learn some extremely hard lessons. And it was like, yeah, don't do that again. That was
Right.
not the move. Don't do that again. So I'm
But that
sharing
happened,
from
and you
my
learned.
own.
You
Right.
learned. You fell down. You got
You
back up.
learn. Yep, exactly.
Cool.
Exactly.
All right, so let's do this, and I want to ask this last question. And folks, again, if you want to, y'all got them here now. You got them here for like 15 more minutes. I'm telling you what, you better put your cues in there so you can get an A. Since you just finished, Florence, let me ask Stephanie this first. Putting on the big thinking hat and the black ball. What is the number 8 ball? The I don't know what it is.
Crystal ball?
I don't know. The magic 8 ball. Is that what it is? Again, I'm
Yeah.
trying to be
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
Are
with the
you
kids.
talking about Times Square ball? What are you
No,
talking
the
about?
magic 8 ball where you ask a
Yeah,
question, then
she
like
know.
the little triangle.
Yeah, stop
Yeah,
messing
yeah.
with me.
Oh, okay.
One piece of advice, if you could give solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, creators, one piece of advice for the next 12 months, what would it be?
I'm gonna say this from like a business perspective. Find the right rooms that you need to be in. So start looking at conferences where your key decision makers are going, because most often they go to conferences because they have a problem and they're trying to find someone. And if you're just right there in front of their face, leverage it. So take advantage. Like, even for me, sometimes I'll just go to the sponsor booth and be like, how are you guys doing with creating content? They're like, oh man, we suck at it. Oh, are you in charge of marketing? They're like, yeah, give me your card. Now I have a card. I didn't have to stalk them on LinkedIn, but I would say definitely look at events. In-person events is going to be a really good one for you. Start networking with people again. And, like, I could probably hit up Florence and say like, hey, I saw this article and I thought of you. I'm not going to like pitch slap her in the middle of a DM or anything, but just kind of remind people, what is it that you're doing? Every now and then, like every quarter, I try to have this thing where I say, hey, James, what are you up to? What are you working on? What are you enjoying right now? Like, what are you up to? Because I know things change and all that other stuff. How can I help you? I think those are great ways for you to build rapport and relationships in 2026. That's probably the big thing I would say. Again, you just asked me impromptu, so I'm just going to like throw it out there. And then if you haven't already, do your greatest hits. Do your greatest hits, because you're going to start to see patterns, and patterns are always helpful as far as like, okay, I need to start doing more of that. Right. And if you're feeling stuck in your creator journey and whatnot, it could just be that your values have changed and you're no longer interested in that content. Like for me, like I used to talk a lot about like live streaming and did it. And I don't really talk about that as often because I'd rather be traveling and ziplining.
So when you stepped away, again, I didn't put your business out. I'm not sure if you could hear the
Yeah.
audio, but again, your greatest hits, your post that you made, that was 12, 13, 14 months ago. And again, you recycled that post, and it worked perfectly. So again,
Yeah.
your catalog of content, you were able to use it at the right period of time, right time of the year, post it out, and it worked.
And it worked
Even though
again.
it was 13 months or however long ago. And I'm not sure how many people I picked on it because I'm anal like that. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That
You're
was
like, didn't I see this again? But again, remember, like even in marketing, for people to buy or even purchase something, they have to see it 7 or 8 times in order for them to fully take action. And even if you did look at it, what are you going to do? You're going to be in my comments like, you posted this 13 months ago. I would make fun of you then, and I'd be like, "Why you all up in my grill? Like, why you?"
I didn't say that. I don't
You
think I
know?
said that. I
But
said
you know what I'm
something nice.
saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But no one really looks at that. But if they can make as many variations of like the electric slide, then you could do as many variations as you want for whatever content you put out there. I'm just gonna lay that out.
Get that out there, boy. Man, we giving people homework. Y'all, somebody better hit a like or something because all these gems has been dropped. I need some like new animations or something to show.
I hope that gave Florence enough. See, whenever you ask me first, I feel like Florence is like, "Yeah, I got all this time to like perfect my answer," and mine was all like, "Blah."
You know what I'm saying? Why you all up in my grill?
Why you all up in my grill? That was a much nicer way of me versus saying like, "Why you all in the booty like tissue?" That's what I really wanted to say to James.
Okay. Alrighty now.
Time to make a marker because that's going all over the internet.
That's Missy Elliott right there.
My goodness.
It's time.
That's what we are.
I told you I was gonna give you like a good 35 minutes.
She said, "Why you
all up in the booty?"
Stop. Behave.
You should be happy I don't mess around with Sora anymore.
Because there is no telling. He would not be boiling the ocean. I don't even want to think about it. That is a visual I need to get out of my head. So,
you gonna try to follow that? You gonna try to follow that?
Yeah.
You're not gonna just let that marinate for a minute? Okay.
We're gonna move along. We're gonna move along. We're gonna move along.
I'm not even looking. I'm looking over here. Okay. Yes.
Don't. Okay. So you and I are in a similar vein. Reconnect with your network and build your network of people who know you, but they may not be your target market. They may not be your client, but they know people who are. That's number one. I have a list of people that I've known for years and years, and I have a rotation where I reach out to them. Hey, what's going on? What's happening? And we all have these networks of people. We have them from college and graduate school and prior jobs and prior businesses and where we used to live. Don't lose track of those people in addition to the conferences and the convocations and all the other things that you go to regularly, because every last one of them, I'm going to use an example. Through networking with someone who wanted me to do some work for her a year before, and I was in a position where I couldn't. We just happened to be talking because I wanted to stay connected with her. She said one sentence that piqued my interest. And because of this, so I'm going somewhere. Because of what she said, I connected her with someone very close to me because what she needed, this person had. She and I were at an event together last weekend, and she said to me, "I am so appreciative. I don't know what I would be doing right now." This was 3 years ago. They're still working together. So don't lose sight of you may not be the person, or that person may not be your client, but they could lead you to your client as well. So don't neglect those relationships. Right? Along with doing all the new stuff. Having a funnel, getting leads, building all of it is great. Getting to know people here like we are. Me meeting Stephanie. But keep those other relationships. Nurture them as well. I'm always listening for not just for myself, but hey, you said such and such. And I'm thinking, do I know someone who maybe it came because I was in BNI.
Oh.
Maybe it's because maybe my brain got conditioned to think that way because I was in BNI.
Yeah.
Oh, I know someone who has that. that ability, who delivers that service, who has that skill, who has that knowledge. Let me connect you. Are you serious? That's one of my things. Are you serious? Because if the
Mhm.
person isn't serious, I don't want to waste my network's time and
Oh, yeah.
energy with someone who's not serious.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. What's funny is everything we talked about is not rocket science, not necessarily new. It really is at the core fundamental level. Just show up the way you want to be seen and produce and do the thing. Um, Hopefully that resonates, and hopefully that kind of puts a bow on the conversation, because at the end of the day, right, we're talking about build something, share it with the right people, know what you want to share, go out there and talk about it, get paid your worth. Um, don't follow the trends. Do your own path, right? Just understand that you control your own destiny, and some of these platforms that you don't have control of or about are changing themselves, and you have to be able to again get out of your own way and do the Garcia thing, do the Donald thing, do the Hicks thing, right? Just you have to build your own thing and not be dependent on something that you have no control of. Um, that's what I hope folks got out of this conversation, right? Talking about, I mean, at the core, it was what was the title of it? Good Lord, I know I wrote it, but I don't remember. Out with the old, in with the new. Stop this, right? The new creator playbook, and we can cross out the word creator again. We can say the new professional, the new business, the new manager, whatever it is that you want to do, and hopefully there were some gems and some jewels that folks can take out of this. I'm selfishly, I took out a lot out of this. I got a blog post I got to write. I got I got a new shirt that I need to create. And let me tell y'all something. These shorts that I'm about to create in a couple of hours after, and when I find this
Come on,
Missy,
Missy. Come on with
ooh,
Missy.
listen, I'm
Get
not
their
worried about it
own
being
brand of toilet
monetized or
paper.
not. I'm not worried about it being monetized or not. I'm gonna put the y'all make sure y'all follow your boy, because they're gonna be some hot shorts in a, in a couple of hours. All funny and all jokes aside, this is what we do, man. This is family. This is a conversation that we have. I'm nothing without my co-host. And on third weeks of the month, I have these two professional ladies here to come in and give it to you. All right, we ain't asking you for no dollars and cents. We just asking you for your attention and an open mind. Uh, Stephanie, Florence, thank you very much. This may be the last one we do for this calendar year until we come back.
I didn't even
Man,
think about that.
yeah, this may be the one. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that I'm gonna cry in the car. No.
Well, then we gotta do the
What are
greatest
we
hits
gonna do
of this
with him?
show, which is gonna be the
What
James and his feelings. James
boil in the
boiling. Those are the
ocean?
Boy,
only
those
things I really remember, honestly.
no greatest hit is definitely gonna be this TP this toilet
Well,
paper up the butt. Yeah,
there's that.
yeah.
David Hunt is putting little snippets in chat right now. He's
Yeah,
catching
I
them,
hope
dropping them
so.
he a
for
bad
you.
man. Well, I will. Maybe I'll see you, Florence, but I know I'll see you, Stephanie, at some of these conferences. Again, we're talking about that getting out of this ex-COVID mentality. I know we were in that for a while with networking and seeing folks. I'm getting ready in 2.5 weeks to go back to Vegas for CES,
CES.
and I just booked
Gee,
my tickets for NAB. So getting back out there.
let's go. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
All right, y'all good? All minds
All
clear.
right.
All
I won't step on nobody and nothing, because I've been in trouble before.
all good.
Cool. Folks, if you found value in this, let me know. If you did not find value, still let me know so we can continue to get better. Have a great night. Have a great week. Have a great year. And heed some of these practices of getting out of your own way. Stop this and start doing that. Cool? We out.